Because those ones are working. There you go.
Okay, there we go.
Now it's working.
Okay, so just so you know, the last 3 years had nothing to do with what they told us. You already know that, but the reality is this. Now they know what they can get away with, which is everything. Okay? The silence that everybody had, and I mean everybody. Okay? And the problem was, and don't get me wrong, I think the protesting is important, but it's not as important as if you had self-love and self-care and you had unconditional love for yourself, you wouldn't be putting up with any BS. So you need to understand that. So you need to get it. The person that was yelling and screaming and threatening and blah, 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 and the person that was losing their shit, even though they said that they were standing up for everyone, they were part of the problem. The reality is if there is no boogeyman. The reality is they have no strength. The only strength they have is the fear that you feel. The false evidence appearing real. The only strength that they have, okay, is that you're going to crumble. The only strength they have is that you're going to lose your crap and hurt your children, hurt yourself. The only strength they have is you're going to go to their liquor stores. The only strength they have is you're going to go to the corner stores. The only strength they have is that you now, in the countries that allow CBD and THC, that you're going to blow your head off and go, well, man, I don't think there's really a problem.
You're just going to numb yourself out, and shut your brain off.
Yeah. And the reality is here is guess what? I know that you think, listen. So everybody's supposed to have their phones on airplane mode in this room. Because everyone that keeps their phone on, you are putting an antenna right beside the next person. And don't ask yourself why you're exhausted and have headaches. It's not my fault. Because you know what? Nobody wants to touch them yet until the next break and turn them off. But your phones a lot of phones are still on. And that's the reality. What? What? You have protection on your phone.
Yeah.
But we're not protected from the ringing.
No, that was not bad.
No, it's not bad. I'm trying to tell you something. Your protection on your phone is still drawing like an antenna.
But it's changing the frequency.
Oh, 1 second, please. I know all about it. I wrote a whole masterclass on it. Your phone acts like an antenna and it's pulling thousands of frequencies to it. And those frequencies are being drawn like magnetic and they're coming through everybody around you. Now do you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's take responsibility that if we don't need our phones, we shut them off. At nighttime, we can put the alarm on, but we put the phone on what? Airplane mode. Okay, well mine, I just keep it 10 feet away. Well, no, you're still getting it. If you don't believe me, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go into your house and put it in the microwave oven, and guess what? And then what I want you to do, a microwave oven is supposed to have a seal on it that will stop most radiation. Then I want you to go back 30 feet and then call and your phone will ring. Next thing is that means too that your microwave oven is giving radiation off 30 feet away, even though it's not supposed to. And yes, it is supposed to. We're the same dumbasses that we were during this last 3 years, right? Why would you buy anything that radiates your food?
Because it changes the molecular structure.
It heats it up from the inside the cell outwards, not from outside in. And it's actually changing it so that they can mutate us.
And it creates an immune reaction every time.
You guys, you know what? Enjoy your time because they're going to come at us with 4 prongs. Climate change, which there isn't any, because the climate changes every 100 years. The climate goes through a change. It goes through a drastic change every 500 years and every 1,000. Why don't you do some homework? Or I wouldn't want to do that. I just want to listen to the news. Okay? So we are not.
Study cycles.
Yeah, you need to study cycles. There's no difference in the weather now than it was for all of our ancestors for the last 150,000 years. But guess what? You go ahead and keep your head up your butt as far as you can. Okay? And then, and then the rest of you believing that you've got to get an electric car that uses more energy to run that electric car than anything, because guess what? All they're going to do is if you don't do what you're supposed to do. They need the electric cars for the 15-minute city. You're not going to be able to go past the 15-minute city. And then guess what? If you're not a good person, they can turn the car off. Now you can't make money and they'll starve you out.
It's all about
So
control.
whenever you want to wake up, the electric cars are not smart. Also, the Tesla cars has shown to increase prostate, uterus, and ovarian cancer by 400%. Because of the radiation that comes off of them, and they could have put a steel plate in there, which would have cost them $40, but they didn't. And understand something. I already told this yesterday, but I'm going to say it again. We are so moronic. You know, the other night I was at supper, and I said, we have moronic beliefs. And there was a lady sitting there going, how can you put people down? I said, if somebody has a stupid belief, does that make them stupid? If somebody has an intelligent belief, does that make them intelligent? And then it just got to the point, I just said, you win, you're right. I'm not fighting with you. The reality is that there is no climate change. We are not running out of fossil fuels because it didn't come from dinosaur bones. Jesus. They even teach you that in school. And all these teachers that are so intelligent, right?
Repeat a lie long enough and strong enough, and eventually everyone will believe it.
That's right. And guess what? Every belief is an entity. And if it is a bad one, it will eat you up. And if it is a good one, it will save your life, recreate your life, and give you a better life.
And connect you to your spirit.
So we got the 15-minute city going. We got the climate change coming. And if you look, New York is freaking out now, okay? And a whole bunch of other places because of all the new diseases that are coming back, which, please, you know, it's not going to end until you end it here, okay? Listen to me. You're only 6 inches away from freedom. What programs are you running in your mind? Anyways, I'm a little off track. So we're going to be going through today, and we're going to be going through the difference between supplementation and nutraceuticals. What is that?
Supplements, unfortunately, most of them are isolated minerals and vitamins, which do not work in your body the same way. Nutraceuticals have a high frequency and their whole form. So they're actually going to raise your vibration up and assist your light with shining through and actually nourish the body and give you the electricity you need to be energetic, healthy, and thrive.
And I realized this back when I was even in my 20s, that everything was frequency, everything was vibration, everything was light. So you need to understand that. So I won't tell you that everything that we sell at Detox store is high vibrational, but it's as high vibrational as I could find. And the reality is, yeah,
that's the key.
we have the highest vibrational iodine in the world. We have the only iodine that is non-toxic. Did you get that?
The only iodine you can nebulize.
That is the only iodine that's non-toxic. The only iodine that a woman that has stage 4 inflammation, they call cancer, we put her on 1.5 ounces a day. You do that with Lugol's iodine, Nacean iodine, and you will destroy your thyroid and your whole life. So, and understand, our infinite iodine will go in and disinfect in 15 seconds any viral, bacterial, fungal.
And the humic fulvic.
And you can put it in your eyes.
Oh, the iodine you can, yeah.
Yeah, the iodine. You can put it in your eyes. You can put it in your ears. You can nebulize it. Because guess what? What works better than a solid? A powder. What works better than a powder? A liquid. What works better than a liquid? A gas. When you nebulize infinite iodine, you are disinfecting your brain, okay, your blood, your lungs, and your cells. It's the biggest game changer in the world. And if you got addicted to nebulizing infinite iodine, you would call me up. We've had, like I said, we usually get 2 every month people that have stage 4, okay, in the lungs, and between the non-surgical and by doing the diet, our Perfect Day diet, by doing the detox, but mainly the nebulizing of the infinite iodine and nebulizing the bright eyes, which we have the only non-toxic humic fulvic in the world. How's that? The only non-toxic.
Because it's not chemically processed.
We're the only ones. So I'm trying to tell you, I've done my homework. So the reality is now you can nebulize the only fulvic you can put in your eyes in the world. You can nebulize it. So now the difference with that is that the fulvic is going to go in to same places, into your cells, into your brain, into your blood, into your lungs. It's going to grab the heavy metals, it's going to grab the parasites, it's going to grab the fungus, and it's going to drop off 70 micronutrients. And yet, but it's in a gas form, Daryl. It still does it.
It's going to restore the terrain, the environment for health, and remove the toxicity. Lock it down and assist your body with removing it, which is key.
And we'll go into these a little bit deeper, but our silver bullet liquid, okay, we put a 1,000-volt lightning bolt into that. And
it's different than colloidal silver.
Your colloidal silver is not what you want.
Doesn't touch it.
This is a nano silver, okay? 30 parts per million. Any more than that is overkill. And just know that silver doesn't kill. You know, I had a couple people come into me and they made their own silver, but they made their own silver machine. And you could drink gallons of ours and just drink it as water. You'll never turn blue. Do you understand? So everything is a science. What they want to do out there is they want to take one thing and then they're just going to run it like a story to scare everyone. Do you understand? So you can take 50% silver bullet liquid, you can take 50% fulvic, and you can nebulize those. You can take infinite iodine, 1 part infinite iodine to 3 parts distilled, and if you have a structure unit, structure it, and then you can nebulize that. But when you are heading into the big games, I do straight infinite iodine. And when I first started, and I smoked when I was younger. Okay, when I was younger, like when I was probably around the age of 17, I was smoking a pack and a half a day. All right, I didn't come from the right side of the tracks. I can tell you that right now. Okay, and it wasn't the wrong side of the tracks because it made me who I am today. But the reality is when I started doing the infinite iodine, I was trying to do it in a concentrate at the very beginning. You always go in through the nose. Remember that your mouth is for eating and your nose is for breathing. Okay? Yeah, and your nose will structure all the air you breathe. When you breathe through your mouth, okay, just know you're not getting structured air.
You're also putting yourself into a stress state because we mouth breathe most when we have to run away. So you want to create tension in the chest, that's a great way to do it.
And guess what? If you decide you want to freak out, just know that you're only allowed to do it for as long as 3 minutes. Once you do any more longer than 3 minutes, you're doing brain damage. So most of you that have eye problems, okay, it's because you have brain damage. Because 99% of all eye problems are brain damage. And did your optometrist tell you that? No. Did your optometrist also tell you that blue light is why 10,000 teenagers are being diagnosed with cataracts every day? So it's the blue light from the phone, blue light from the LED, blue light from the computers, blue light from the TV, blue light from the movie. So they're burning their brain.
And your body goes, I need to block this out, so that hence the cataract.
So the cataract is made out of mucus and it's made out of fibrin. Okay? So now you've got this high crystalline on here. And that could dissolve if you were to change your way of life. Okay? And this is why today, if you don't own a pair of Teslas, there's something wrong with you. Every one of you look into your phones. Every one of you are on a computer every day, pretty well. Every one of you will go to a movie. Every one of you will walk into an office. You cannot get incandescent light by incandescent lights now in the United States. They made them illegal. Because LED lighting gives off radiation. It radiates. So anybody that has LED lighting in their house and they're suffering from stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 inflammation, which they call cancer, you can kiss your ass goodbye. And I'm going to say this because it's the God's truth. So now you have LED lighting in your house. Then you go to work and you have LED lighting. And then you look at your phone to make phone calls. And then you go on your computer to do your work. And then you go home and watch TV. You just poisoned yourself completely. How many people know that blue light is more dangerous than 5G? You didn't know that, did you? Okay, that's the big distraction. Because everybody, guess what? It's so convenient for you, you don't want to look at the truth. So if you don't want to get Teslas, and if you don't want to do the Bright Eyes Fulvic drops, okay, then guess what? You're going to pay. You're going to pay, that's it. You're going to pay. And then you say, well, I've got prescription glasses. Well, you can actually buy glasses that have magnet fluorine lenses that are Teslas. And then you can get your prescription put into them. Guys, there's no excuse. Yes, they cost you around $500, but understand something.
Your brain's worth $500.
Do you guys know what fluorine lenses are?
It's carbon 60.
It's carbon 60. And just so you know, who carries the best C60 on the planet?
You do.
I do. And I will challenge anyone that wants to come to me. You know, there's a company that's selling most of the C60 in the United States called Purple Power. How many people know that their actual C60 is made in a very cheap way, and they add palm oil to it to make it look purple? Ours is actually purple because it's done right. And just so you know that C60 now sells for $350 to $450 a gram. How are any of these guys actually selling their C60 for $350 or $400? So our C60 actually gets made, and what you need is you need a oh, come on, Daryl. You need a power station to actually make C60. Nobody can afford it because of electricity. So the person that makes my C60 owns a power station. Did you know that? He bought up all the C60 15 years ago when it was $35 a gram.
Well, I thought it was 50, but that's...
And it's $350 to $450 a gram. Most of C60 comes from China. So it is really garbage. Okay? And a lot of people are using sunflower oil, safflower oil. We don't. We don't use olive oil either. We use coconut MCT oil, the best that we can get. And we also use hemp oil because the endocannabinoids. So people will take the coconut oil halfway through the day and then they'll switch to the hemp oil to get themselves ready so they can have a more pleasurable night. Right? But we'll be going through everything in detail. Everything we do is about vibration and frequency. If you go to a natural health practitioner and they sell you supplements, that's all you're getting. Remember something, whether you want to believe this, everything that's physical leaves the body.
It's the frequency that stays behind.
And the light.
It
Frequency and
your
light.
It nourishes your light. The
Guess
frequency.
what? This is the wildest thing, isn't it? Everything. Okay, did you know why that when you eat plants, be grateful. When you eat food, be grateful. But did you know that these things want to become part of you? Would you like to become higher vibrational being? The plant wants to become a higher vibrational being. Are you with me yet? Are you with me? Okay. So everything that you drink, everything that you eat has left your body. Did you know that nothing that you ate on a physical actually created anything physical? Did you know that only the light and the frequency actually created the human body?
That's why your thoughts are so powerful, because they're frequencies, so they impart information upon your physical body.
You guys have to get this. You guys have to get this, that you need to honor, love, and respect yourself, and that your spirit is everything. You know, my father was a born-again Christian pastor, and he would say, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, and everything was always outside myself. I was always nothing. My father taught that we were nothing. My father taught that I was nothing, and before I even got here, I was a sinner, and that I would always be trying to get the approval of some gray-haired man in the sky that one minute loved me and didn't love me. Do you know what kind of hell I went through? So this is why I was a hell raiser. Okay, all right? You know what they called me? I lived in Broadhaven, Ontario, and that's when I was around 6, 7, and 8 years old, and I was called Devil Boy. And understand something, I am so glad that I did not give up. That I did not buy into that BS, that belief system, because everything is frequency. But the only problem is that I terrorized my father, right? When I shouldn't have, right? And that's what we do. When somebody wants us to be something else, and we don't want to be that, we torture that person. It would have been nice for me not to do that. So everything is light and everything is frequency. And if you want, please, you take over for a second. I want to put on here, and I'm going to play to you my brother, Dr. Marcel Wolf, okay? and the gentleman who wrote the Tesla movie, okay? And he's a friend of mine. His name escapes me, and it'll come to me in a second. I hope he's not watching this. But the reality is what they did was they took 4 ivy plants. 1, 2, 3, 4. They put electrodes on all 4 plants and then attached it to a crystal in the middle of them. Does anybody know that crystals store energy? And does anybody know that the elite don't want you to know that you can take a crystal and you can put in a crystal, you can put almost the whole world's information in one crystal. And that's the technology they have.
Because the geometric pattern is so dense.
And but crystals are alive. Mm-hmm. That's why everybody talks about them. When I was younger and people were talking about crystals, I thought, what a flake. You're such a flake. And little do we know that rocks grow. Now, a rock doesn't grow if the water's hitting it. But if the rock is stagnant and nothing's hitting it, rocks grow. That's mind-blowing. And then we find out that crystals are alive. And we find out that, guess what? It'll take centuries, but we are going from carbon-based to crystalline. And that's what's happening to us. But, it'll take centuries to get there. But we're not going to get there if we don't have enlightenment. And you're not going to have enlightenment if you don't look at your food and your drink and what you think and who you hang around with and say, how much light do they have in them? So go ahead. The tobacco industry owns all the food corporations. So guess what? If it comes in a package, it's not real.
It's got a frequency of 0.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. So don't tell me that you went and bought anything. Oh, first of all, how many people know that a health food store is 70 to 80% toxic? How many people know that a supermarket is 98% toxic? That's their foods. And people are loading this stuff up. So if you don't believe in a creator, there's something wrong with you. Because just look at how they're trying to poison us. But guess what? They've lost their way. Because they've always been trying to poison us. I mean, all the greatest minds in the world can't figure out how to get the chlorine and the fluoride out of the water. My God, we could ozonate it. We could put hydrogen peroxide in it. We could structure it. But no, that's never going to happen.
We're going to put industrial poisons in it.
And we're never going to come together except like the Whole Life Coach or a BraveHeart Circle. We'll come together and we'll understand each other. When we start to love ourselves, we will love each other. And until we love ourselves, we will never love each other. So wars are never going to end on this planet. Poisoning's never going to end. And families are never going to stop sexually and emotionally and physically beating up on each other until they love themselves enough that they will stop it.
But you can choose to be the change you want to see. Start loving yourself. Start giving yourself the light. Regain your sensory acuity. Because when you stop putting the poisons and the low vibrational foods in, the foods with the frequency of 0, it's amazing what you begin to feel and sense.
And yes, I know.
Instead
of going to the corner, you're going to have to go and travel to get it. It's a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. Okay, you take over. I'm gonna play what I call the plant cathedral, which you're gonna be listening to in a few minutes. Can we turn the lights on? Oh, we'll leave the lights on. But when I play it, I want you to close your eyes.
And just listen.
Just listen to this. I swear, guys.
It's amazing.
I swear that there's no orchestra and there's nobody singing. This is 4 ivy plants hooked up to a large crystal in the middle.
And we've been so brainwashed into believing that we need to eat for energy. We need to eat for energy. But did you know when you're eating those 3 meals a day, that it takes you the same amount of energy as walking 10 miles? So imagine taking that same metabolic energy and not eating as much, but nourishing your body. And then your body can go after the garbage stores that we have from eating so many low vibrational foods, and we have incomplete digestion. Bring in food combining, and then your metabolic process is so much better with less waste, and then you have more energy for life. We say, how do our children have so much energy? If only I could bottle that up and store it. Well, you can regain the energy you had of your youth if we stopped going for that quick dopamine, serotonin hit from eating the processed refined sugars and taking in the chemicals that they have convinced us
Okay,
we need.
so from the very beginning of time here, all right? These families that are poisoning us,
Harvest our energy.
they harvest your energy. Monsters, Inc. is not a cartoon. Go watch it.
It's a metaphor for
They
what's
just,
really happening.
they showed you the true story of what they're doing down here.
The fear energy, the screams.
They live off of your suffering, your crying, your victimization of yourself and everyone else. You're hating blacks, East Indians, Chinese, whites. So now guess what? Everybody gets a turn. Now, if you're white, you probably can't find a job. Do you understand? So everybody's just getting a turn. It is our turn.
They also show you the laughter, though, and love.
Yeah,
At the
because they
very
have
end.
to.
At the very end, and how much more powerful
So
it is.
here's the deal with the creator of everything. You are allowed to harvest as many people as you want, but you have to tell them how you're going to harvest them, when you're going to harvest them, and guess what? Their job is to awaken, to move up to a new level, and if they don't, you can harvest them. And if you think that there's anything else going on, I feel really, no I don't feel bad for you at all, because you just bought into a BS story. And they're allowed to give us all these BS stories, but then they've got to bring things out like The Matrix, they got to bring things out like Monsters, Inc.
And they put it in movies that you may not even watch. They're hidden in
That's
plain
it.
sight, though. They are hidden in plain
I'm
sight.
totally awake to it. Okay? I know that which created the universe does not love me. It's beyond. It has never judged me. And the only place you get judged down here is in here and with everybody around you.
But it starts in here because you see the judgment outside of you when you yourself are being judgmental, critical, and condemning. And when you are that way, it tears down the cells of your body, and they do not function the way that they're supposed to because it doesn't let the light in. It shuts it down.
Guess what? If you want to opt out of the game, then just sit in your own personal struggle. Or you could have an adventure and struggle to crack open your coconut and then realize that you're going to have to make the journey on your own until you find your new family. Because the one that you have, that you say is blood is thicker than water, will not come with you. Maybe one, maybe two, and if it's Grace's age, she's young enough to buy into RBS still, and she will know when she goes out there, and she'll go, oh my God, you're right. Look at all the suffering, okay? So you can teach a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old. You can go all the way up until about 19, 20, and they're too programmed because they're adulterated. All adults are adulterated. So now you got to come back to and release the child.
You must release the child. Life is a game, and we're here to level up, right? So when you're conscious of what you're taking in, you level up faster than if you're completely unconscious to what is going in your mouth, what you're seeing, what you're listening to.
Can we shut the front door, please? Thank you.
Because we are walking water, and the water structure changes with the frequencies. So your words are powerful frequencies. Your thoughts are powerful frequencies. So looking at your patterns of thinking are so critically important because it's the crappy thoughts that lead to crappy food choices.
Slight smile, connected to your breath, shoulders back, chin up, and you don't care what anybody thinks about you. You don't need approval from anyone, and you will take nothing personal because guess what? That's why you never followed through.
What people think of you, they are thinking of themselves. Period.
Yes. And guess what? If you've got something amazing that you want to do, don't you tell anyone else unless they've done amazing already.
Because they'll only echo your fears.
I can't wait to go home and tell my mother and father how I just want to do everything they've never done before.
It'll scare the shit out of them. It'll always always be a bad idea because people are afraid of what they don't know. Your subconscious is afraid of getting out of what you feel is comfortable right now, but that's where all growth happens. Is at the edge
you want approval from everyone. That's so cute.
You need approval from you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know you need approval from everyone? 50 trillion cells, 500 trillion bacteria that are screaming bloody murder because you won't unconditionally love yourself. You think about that one. Okay, you ready? Is there anything you'd like to say?
Oh, I'm ready to listen to the Abby plants.
Okay, here we go.
It's fantastic.
And hopefully it's working because we had trouble with the internet, okay?
It's working.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes, please. Everyone, close your eyes. Even if you're on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, please just buy into this for a little bit. Okay, thank you. I'll turn it up a little. I want you to get this. No orchestra, no singers, just 4 ivy plants. What do you think?
Wow.
Okay, so what were they saying? Okay, did you hear all the instruments?
Yes.
So 4 ivy plants can get along, but we can't. And look at how they sing. Look at how they harmonize. Now you remember something. These plants, look how beautiful they are. Look what they're giving you. And they're saying, we don't mind. You can eat us. We want to become part of you, enlightened. Meanwhile, they're more enlightened than the masses right now. The masses are not enlightened. We couldn't get 4 people to come together and sing like this. You know, we have unlimited potential. The sky's not the limit. Your belief systems are the limit. There will be people here. You will believe me now because you probably trust me after 2 days of being here. But the reality, there'll be people here going, BS, that's not true. That's not true. That can't be possible. But they will believe that they can get on and call someone in China in 30 seconds. But they can't believe in God. They can't believe that they are frequency, light energy, electrical magnetic beings. And that if you don't unconditionally love and care for yourself, you are being harvested. We are there now.
I can remember in the past being told, you better change your tune.
Yeah.
Like when your attitude. So if you're always sending out a frequency, doesn't that give a whole new meaning to change your tune? Well, that's what changing your patterns of thinking, that's what it does. Start noticing the beautiful and what you're thankful for and what you're grateful for. You will get more of that. Complain about everything, you'll get more to complain about. You'll get more to recognize that just sucks.
What would happen if you actually pretended that you loved yourself and your life for one day?
You might eventually start to genuinely feel that.
You might believe it.
Yeah.
So what would happen if you believed the world is a scary place? And you know what? Ever since I was little and I can remember the English language, the world was ending.
Yeah.
My father, who was a born-again Christian pastor, we built a cement under the ground bunker, okay, and I go down and steal the suckers that were supposed to be there that I was supposed to suck on the end of the world.
Well, 2012 was supposed to end too. And 2020. And it's the same pattern over
And all they're saying is suck on this.
So turn off the news and tune into you.
Create your own news station.
Yeah. New station.
Yeah. Nooniverse. All right? So, any comments? Anything you want to say about what we just listened to? How do you get a hold of it? You walk over here. And I'll just give it to you. I can download it to your phone right now. Yeah.
Do you know what kind of crystal it was that?
Quartz crystal. One of the big quartz crystals. That's it.
How was that picked up on the mic?
It went through electrodes. Everything is frequency.
Did you hear it while you were there, or it had to go through?
Oh, no, they couldn't hear it. It went into his system. Yeah, that's just like, let me just tell you another story, okay? And my brother, Dr. Marcel Wolf, he calls it the resurrection carrot, okay? Because what they did was, him and Bob Connolly, they did this, and they did another one, where they took an organic carrot, and with Carillion photography, they took a picture of it. And if you want, my brother's coming on tomorrow. Wait till you hear what he's got to say to you. Okay, he is one of the top people in energy medicine and frequency in North America. He's in the top 10. He really is, you'll find out. So anyways, what they did was they took a carrot, they took Carillion photography, and they showed the light coming off of it. Then they put it in a microwave, and they microwaved it until there was nothing left of it. Then what they did was they put it under a bioptron. So a bioptron is a full spectrum hyperpolarized light with a fluorine lens, the same lens that C60 inside the lens. And what they did is they went and shined it on that. I think he can tell you, but I think he did it for only 2 minutes. And guess what? Are you ready for this? The carrot shone and had more light it had triple the light from the bioptron light infusing into it than before they put it into the microwave.
Because there's still water in the carrot, and it's the water that takes on the light, and it affects the structure. And the structure is so important.
I know you don't want to believe this, but guess what? Do you know how your spirit came down and that it came into your body? No, that's BS. I just made that up. Did you all know that this is real science, that every one of you, your cells have what's called a cell print? I'm going to prove something to you in a second, all you doubters. Your spirit is being infused in this here, outside, called aura, inside the cells, 24/7, even though time doesn't exist. What? Okay? So it doesn't come down and then it's here. And the only reason why you lose your energy is because you put a chokehold on your own spirit, and you allow them to give you belief systems, and you do that. Now, how do you do it? Oh, you're going to love this. Remember what I told you, that when you're fearful and when you eat inflammatory foods and have inflammatory thoughts, and you traumatize yourself, every cell, 50 trillion of them, feel the same trauma. Do you think that would be logical? Should I stop now? Can I keep going? So now it's in an instant, that's right. And what happens is, if they were ever to do something like COVID, they'd never do that to us though, because that would not be nice. But if they did, and it was done for a long term, your cell gets a thicker lining on the outside of it to protect itself. And guess what it stops?
The light.
It stops your spirit from coming into the cell. So you don't believe me? Then why does a person have to take... after they get transplant, why do they have to take drugs, okay, so they don't lose the transplant? Because guess what? The spirit energy of that spirit is now coming into another body. Are you with me here yet? So now when somebody gets a transplant, they will go, oh my God, I don't know why, but I want to dip pickles into ice cream. And then they meet the person and say, I got your son's heart. Did he like pickles and ice cream? Oh my God. And then she cries. Do you hear me? So everything is spirit energy. Everything is light. Everything is about frequency. They don't want you to know this. They use it against us all the time. This is an invisible war of blue light and 5G. And understand something. There is not 5G anymore. It's 10G. And you guys don't even know that yet. And it's going to go up to 20G. And understand something, this is how they will dumb us down.
Well, they're giving us more baggage.
They want transhumans.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they want. They want transhumans. And that's why anything
As if we're
goes
not
right now.
programmable enough already.
That's why they're confusing our young children about their gender. They want transhumans. The more they confuse us about our gender, we'll buy into anything. Do you understand something, guys? Okay, Mother's Day is a day, okay? And then Pride Day is a month. So understand something. I am not against anybody about anything, but understand this is all about confusion, distraction, and we are going to disrupt you. And if you're totally against this, we are going to give you a headache, and we are going to create so much acidity that you are going to get heart disease, diabetes, or cancer over this. And that's that. So understand this. Everything is frequency. So I'm not trying to get political. I'm not trying to get anything. I don't have any views. I'm just trying to tell you, welcome to the greatest show on earth, where if you don't mind your own business and you take things personal, you are going to blow up on a physical, emotional, and a spirit level. That's it. How are we doing?
Right on.
Okay? All right?
Is radionics from your friend Peter similar to what your brother Dr. Marcel does?
Well, this is a radionic device, this crystal. This will protect us with 30 feet out.
So
And
remember your interview that you did with him?
who?
Peter Webb.
Peter Webb, yeah.
Who was employed to clear out pollution from polluted lakes.
Well, he clears up lakes that have no life in them, and he doesn't even go there.
So it's similar to what your brother Marcel does with.
Why don't you wait till tomorrow? Tomorrow morning when he comes on. Okay? All right? And he's got all the science. Like
Lots of science.
He's got the highest degree in energy medicine that you can get in the world. So he's got all the science. He's got the science. And me, I just got the BS, belief systems. You know? What? Well, we are the power pack. We are all the power pack.
Yeah.
We are all the power pack. Okay? We need you to become your own power pack. But wouldn't that be something? Then you wouldn't go around sucking on everybody's energy.
Like a nipple.
Like a nipple. So guess what? You're all going to get de-nippled today. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. 3, 2,
3,
1.
2, 1. You got this.
You got this.